All right, so we have the principles, we have the script, we have what it takes in order to make that script successful. Now we have to do one of the most important things to make sure that people are showing up to your evals excited and aware of your cash packages, making it more likely that they're actually going to buy. We're going to talk about something that most people get entirely wrong, which is new patient onboarding. Most people think that once you get them scheduled, the job is done. Not in cash physical therapy. That is when things just get started. That is the first moment when you are met with the most resistance because our brains are immediately looking for red flags, reasons to not commit, reasons to not show up. And if you don't do this correctly, you're going to have a lot of people showing up for evals that have no interest in taking a next step with you, and you're going to waste a lot of time, and the opportunity cost is massive. So what we're going to be watching is a replay that we did again inside of our Cash Physical Therapy headquarters private Facebook community back in March 2022. So this is an oldie, but the principles are the same. Nothing's changed. It's continued to work insanely well for our practice and for all of our members' practices as well. Enjoy the training. So Ben, you kind of want to talk a little bit about like what the process looks like as soon as your clients get scheduled, and then we'll take a look at the actual email that we're going over here.
Yeah, so obviously we put them in our EMR system, and then right afterwards we send them a text. I see you got the email set up. We send them an email as well, but this is delayed by a couple minutes to make it look more authentic too, because you send this like right away, and it's like an email that's 3 or 4 paragraphs, that it's more automated. So this is actually delayed, and then they're not getting an email and text simultaneously, and it just seems more personable. So we send them a text right afterwards. I don't know if you have the text pulled up, Jordan.
I do, yes.
Yeah. So yep. So we send this text right afterwards, and essentially it's, hey, Miss Smith, again, use their name to make it more authentic and real for them. Is like, it was great speaking with you, and congratulations on making the big step towards getting back to running the half marathon in April, or being able to get back to playing with your kids without back pain, or keeping with the kids, or back to playing golf, being able to do 18 holes of golf, whatever their main goal is, put that in there. And then it goes back to, it shows people that you're authentic because you're using their name, and then also you are showing them that you listened exactly to what their problem was and what they want to get back to. Right. So you really relate it always back to their goals. And this is something that we do too, that on that first phone call is after they get done stating everything that they told us on the call, we're like, hey, Ms. Smith, just want to make sure I got everything correct. And then we repeat everything that they told us, right? Because nobody in the healthcare model today, nobody truly feels like they're heard or listened to. So you make them feel heard and listened to on the call, and then also through this text afterwards too, okay? Then we state, just wanted to give you a heads up that I sent over the intake forms to your email a few minutes ago, and you can just complete those as soon as possible before your appointment to help speed up the evaluation process to ensure that you're able to get as much treatment as possible in that first session. You'll be good to go. Also keep an eye out regarding our free parking, right? Free parking is a big perk too, and especially if you have a clinic that's hard to find too, it can be tricky. And putting this in here so people aren't showing up 5 to 10 minutes late to their appointment because they had a hard time finding parking or the clinic, because that's a bad experience too. If somebody has to come in 5 to 10 minutes late and they're stressed out about parking and finding the place, that's never a good look. So make sure that you mention this information so they do find that and and show up on time. Then you're not, guess what? On the back end, now you're not having to rush through evaluations. You're able to take them through a thorough evaluation, give them that experience, and then also just have them be not stressed out about finding a place. And then also gives you more time to take them through the sales process and not have that rushed and be able to go through a consistent routine. So that's what we state there. And then again, we put, again, if you have any questions prior to your evaluation, just give me a call and I'm happy to help. Enjoy the rest of your day, Ms. Smith, and we'll see you X time, X date, right? You're also confirming their appointment time with them. Because a lot of people are like, hey, am I going to get confirmation on when my appointment is and stuff like that. So this is also helps confirm there too. And then we give them, we explain in that second paragraph, hey, make sure to complete the evaluation accelerator form that is enclosed in the intake form to help speed up that evaluation process. And so you're able to get more treatment on that first session. By stating this, more people are going to complete that intake form, the evaluation accelerator form, allowing you to have a more efficient evaluation and really figure out what their pain points are. And we'll show you the evaluation accelerator form here shortly. So we'll be going through that too, so you guys can see the importance of that. So this serves a couple different purposes. One, again, personalization. We're using their name. We're stating what their goals are. We're getting them to give us a better chance of them completing the intake form, the evaluation accelerator form, helping them figure out, hey, make sure to keep an eye out for parking so they're not late, they're show up on time, so you're not having to rush through evaluation. And then also making sure that they feel comfortable with giving us a call if they have any questions beforehand. All right. And then just enjoy the rest of your day, Ms. Smith, and we'll see you confirm their appointment time. So they make sure that they show up on time, at the right time, at right date as well. So it serves a couple different purposes throughout there. All right. How many, and I also want to ask you guys this, how many of you guys are sending a text afterwards? Most likely, probably not. And that's okay. That's okay. But I'm just saying, also think about, do you know of any other clinic in your area that's sending texts, welcome text and congratulations text after they get off, they schedule a session with that clinic? Nobody's doing it.
Not to be confused with like appointment reminders. Like we get it, you might be sending texts, but the emotional triggers in there are the key difference here. Customer experience versus customer service.
Yep, exactly. So that's the thing is you can really, right from the get-go, you're helping decrease buyer's remorse right off the bat, and just confirming with them that they made the right decision and showing them that you're different right from the get-go, from the second that you're off the call. When they get on the call, they know you're different, but then when you send that text, it's just continue to confirm that you're different, that they made the right decision. So they don't go start calling other clinics, or they start having that buyer's remorse and cancel before they come in because they started calling around to other clinics because they thought they could get the same thing, right? So that's the thing with the text, and then we send them an email afterwards too. So if you want to go back to that, Jordan.
I just want to say like how many of us have bought something that had bold promises that on what it could deliver, only to be like massively disappointed with what the actual delivery of that thing was? Everybody, every single person in the modern world has gone through that. And so you convince them that you can get them the transformation that they want. That's why they scheduled. But they're still curious that, okay, I got it. You sold me, but do you actually have the back end to support what you just sold me? Most people do not. And so these little nuanced things are what show them like, oh, like, damn, this person's actually like can back up everything that they said. I'm feeling what they told me I would feel. And so that's so key. And so the personalized texts, Ben, like how easy is it to send these things? Like what are you using to do it? How much time does it actually take? I feel like some people are looking at this like, I don't have time for that crap.
It literally takes us less than 30 seconds. We literally can copy and paste. We can literally copy and paste this in, just change the name, change their goals, and then put the date at the end. You can literally do under 30 seconds. Promise you it's worth that 30 seconds is worth it. And if you don't have time to do it, have a front desk, bring on a front desk to help you out with that. So our front desk takes care of us, or whoever should call. So
we use CM Hub, Clinical Marketer Hub. It's the software that we use for all of our marketing and our CRM. This is literally a saved template in there. And to send it to someone as a text, you literally click a button, choose the template, swap out the words, sent. 30 seconds. Don't lie to yourself into thinking that you don't have time to deliver on these things, because people are doing it and they're beating you. The people who are doing this are going to beat you every single time because they took the time to build the emotional connections necessary to prove that their process and their delivery of that process is superior to what else is on there on the market, hence why it costs more than other services. So super important. Okay, let's check out the email. And so, this basically covers every single thing that the text has, but in greater detail, again, reinforcing that this person made the right decision and making sure that every red flag, every objection that this person could throw out there and basically use as an excuse to cancel or to reschedule or to do further research. We make sure that we eliminate every single one of those objections right at the get-go, so they have fewer and fewer reasons to be able to back out. And so basically what we're doing here is, again, helping them feel good about making that decision, letting them know that they've and letting them know what the next steps are. So our patients choose us because they want to enjoy the activities that they love. If that's your goal, you're in the right place. Please fill out this intake or our evaluation accelerator form. Ben, you want to talk to us for a second about why we call it an evaluation accelerator form versus an intake form?
Yeah. So if you call it the intake form, again, you're kind of just making yourself, they think it's just another intake form that they go to they complete before they go see their physician, and then they spend all this time filling it out. It's tedious, and they don't really feel like the information is all that pertinent to them. And then on top of that, when they do fill it out, the doctor is asking the same damn questions that they put on there, right? So that's why we call it the evaluation accelerator form, because they know that it's actually going to be read, and also it's going to help speed up the evaluation process so they can get any more treatment on that first session. We give them motivation to actually fill out the intake form. If you just call it the intake form, they're just going to think, oh, I can do this, really no benefit to me. It's only a benefit to them. I'll do it if I got time, right? We give them motivation. Everybody's intrinsically motivated. Everybody always thinks, subconsciously or consciously, what is in this for me? Right? What benefit am I going to get out of this? So we tell them, hey, you're going to get the benefit of getting into more treatment. Everybody wants to get more hands-on treatment, more exercise on that first session, right? So let's motivate them by leveraging that, right? Because we'll be able to get more treatment on that first session if you complete the evaluation accelerator form, right? So they just don't view it as a general intake form, because it's really truly not. It's different. Does it have some impact, like some replica of the general intake form, the first half, but on just for softball questions? But then we really get into some deeper things from an emotional standpoint on the back end of things that is completely different from a general intake form. So,
right. And we're going to show you guys our actual evaluation accelerator form, and you're going to understand, like, this, it's definitely not an intake form, which it requires a more worthy name of what it actually is. It's like comparing a plain baked potato, like without butter, which kind of sucks, to a fully loaded baked potato with sour cream, cheese, all the good stuff on it. So very, very stark difference. So it's hard to even call it an intake form, but we basically tell them what the next step is, and then we break down in detail what to expect during that first appointment. Again, making sure that there's no room for error, no room for any of those red flags or objections to take hold and prevent this person from taking action. So whatever those things might be, Ben, what's your layout for this?
Yeah, so it's very, very similar. We talk about, like, hey, this is what your experience is going to be, so they understand, like, hey, what to wear. A lot of people have that question, right? You can take all the questions that you generally get from people and put them into this, right? Because people don't want to be surprised. They want to know exactly what's going to be happening, and all that too. So we tell them, like, hey, once you arrive, you'll be graded by your physical therapist, who will be with you one-on-one for the entire duration of your appointment. We like to start out the first question by just getting to know you, how this is impacting you, and past medical history and the goals that you'd like our help with too. So we really just make it about them and what they're going to experience, so there's no surprises. And just people, you might think it's very straightforward, but we're physical therapists. We know what the process is day in, on like a back of their hand. But for other people that have never been PT, especially, they might not really know what to expect. So you want to make that crystal clear as much as possible for that. So,
or if it have been to PT and they think it's just getting sat down on a bike and doing some exercises. This is your moment to show off, basically. Like, you have created all this time to create this world-class process that creates excellent results. This is where you show off how you do it. But we're not done there yet. Okay, what to expect after your first appointment, letting him know, pre-framing them that there is an after. Okay, there isn't just like, come for this eval and you're fixed. There is expectations on what happens afterwards and what's going to be needed. And so, Ben, what do you guys normally put here?
Yeah, so I mean, we always ask, like, a lot of times we ask, like, patients, like, on the call, like, what was a successful outcome look like for you? What would you like our help accomplishing ultimately? And a lot of people, the first thing that they say is like, well, first and foremost, I want to just get answers on exactly what's going on and why this happened, so this doesn't happen again, right? So people want to know the answers when they leave, like, what is exactly going on. So we highlight, you're going to know what the issue is, why you're experiencing, what the root issue is, and you're also going to get an individualized exercise program, so they can start making progress right away. Okay, and a clear game plan on what the process is going to be to get you back to X, Y, and Z. All right, and we tell them, like, lastly, everything is fully guaranteed. If you're not satisfied with the first visit with us, then I'm not satisfied either, and you don't want us to send. Again, lowers the barrier. It takes out the risk for them, right? And also just shows that you're very confident and in your skill and what they're going to experience, that you're not happy if they're not happy, right? And they will get their money back if they're not. This is also really important for people that have been burned by other professionals in the past. because nobody does this. Nobody in the medical system, very few people in the medical system, especially insurance-based, that I never heard anybody doing a satisfaction guarantee or something being fully guaranteed there too. So,
how many times have you had to pay out for that?
It's the amount of times that we've been able to get patients to continue on with us when they otherwise wouldn't have versus the people that we've had to refund. It just blows it out of the water. It's, if you truly believe in your product and you know it's right, what's right for patients, it's a no-brainer to be doing this. You're going to be people like, well, I don't want to have to refund people, their money. Not everybody, you can't make everybody happy. That's true. You can't make everybody happy, but at the same time, don't let those people spoil you from being able to help other people that need your help. They're just a little bit more hesitant, right? And this can be the thing that lowers that barrier to entry enough for them to be able to get the help that they're doing. So you're not only just doing yourself a disservice by not offering this money back guarantee, but you're also doing a disservice to your prospective patients as well by not offering this, because you're able to help more people and get people in the door that need your help that they otherwise wouldn't if you didn't offer this. So I'm very big on the satisfaction guarantee. And yeah, we've had to refund people before. And that goes back to, you can't make everybody happy, but I know that our processes are so sharp that it's going to be well worth that risk. Okay.
Right.
So,
and like the number of people that you get on the schedule because of that guarantee is probably 10 to 1 to the people that actually end up
at least
taking the refund, because most people are inherently good. And if you are a good person and your motives are very clear and you are doing everything you can to help this person, and for some reason it's just not a good fit, then it's okay. Refund them. But people want to refund with you and did everything to make sure that you're delivering on that promise. And so most people never take you up on that, even if something goes wrong. But definitely do guarantees. They work so well. Makes you look really good, and just helps people make the best decision for themselves. Then we throw in our cancellation and reschedule policy. What's your reschedule policy, Ben?
Yeah, so our reschedule policy is they need to let us know. They need to let us know 24 hours in advance with it, and we tell them, like, you need to make sure that you give us a call. We don't want them responding through text or email too. So that's something that we include. And yeah, so that's something that's really powerful too. So we make sure to state that on the call, as well as in these emails, and they also sign one of our the forms that they complete before after the evaluation. Accelerator form includes the disagreement. We have a new patient agreement of things that they have to agree to, and that also it benefits them too by signing in that, hey, we're going to hold up our end of the bargain. You need to kind of hold up your end of the bargain too. So we're big on them respecting our time because we're never late. We expect them to respect our time. So anyways, just some things that include that.
Right. And so when someone schedules, there's 3 emails that we send them back to back. This first one that we just walked through is all about, 1, reinforcing the decision, setting expectations, and telling them what the next steps are. Okay. Very, very to the point, making sure that we're overcoming any objections that people have. This next email is all about, again, reinforcing that decision, because we need to acknowledge that people are always worried. They're always skeptical because they've been burned so many times. And so we need to just constantly be reminding them, be supportive, letting them know that they did make the best decision. And the best way to do that isn't by telling them, it's by showing them. And so these next emails highlight customer experiences, past patient results, that sort of thing. And so as you see in these these emails, which have been killing it for our Scottsdale location, it's basically, we follow very strategic kind of emotional points here. And so since you've already taken the first step towards a healthier life by scheduling an appointment with us, I know you understand the importance of prioritizing your health. Most patients come to us wanting to be better, but they leave achieving much more than that. Our team of highly skilled clinicians work one-on-one, basically break all this stuff down. But then again, breaking down the entire process in which they're about to go through, as well as talking about the other potential problems that we can help them with. So educating them a little bit further on what they're going to get with us. Okay. Email 3. This is primarily, again, just sharing patient stories. So aches, pain, stiffness, and loss of strength or mobility can greatly impact quality of life. But the good news is that we successfully treat these common issues in our practice every single day. Boom, patient testimonial. Boom, patient testimonial. And again,
this is important too, because a lot of people think, oh, if they're dealing with like knee pain, a lot of times patients will think, oh, you only treat knee pain, right? But also you treat low back pain, shoulder pain, and you can help them out. Not only help them out with that, but also it helps them realize that, hey, I have a family member that has X pain. And I can see from your testimonials that you don't just treat knee pain. It was really that's one thing I learned in my first like 2 years in business that really shocked me is how many patients thought that I only treated whatever injury they were dealing with, and that they couldn't treat or when it couldn't help their spouse that had shoulder pain when I was treating their knee. So it's really mind blowing to me. But that's the importance here of giving stories of people with multiple injuries too, and then it also helps with regards to not just treating them by body part, but helping them realize that you can treat them as a whole, and also help them with another injury that may be secondary that they've been dealing with for years, and it doesn't impact them a whole lot, but they'd like to have that taken care of if they can, and then that allows you to help them with that and extend their plan of care and get them the long-term results that they need overall. So that's really powerful piece here.
Yeah, Scott, super good note, especially if you're running Facebook ads, because obviously in our advertising and our direct response advertising, we want to seem like specialists to the individuals that we're marketing towards. So we're talking about knees, we're talking about shoulders. And so super good point to make sure that you do make sure that they know that you can't help other things. It's definitely going to help your referral game. Scott Running asked, what do you do when someone schedules just a day or two before their first appointment and all these emails don't have time to go out before their evaluation? Great question. For this particular sequence, whether they already came in or not does not matter. They got the first email when they schedule that gives them all the information they need. The rest of the things that we show them are just complimentary things that help them get more informed on what the process is going to look like. So email 2 basically just breaks down, by the way, even though if they just had their appointment, letting them know that you also help these other things can only help you. It definitely doesn't harm the patient. And then in part 2, or the email 3, when we're sharing case studies, again, that can only add value to that particular individual. So we just let this run, because this is what we call an indoctrination sequence. This isn't just about getting them in the door. This is about helping build the connection with them and your brand, and helping them build that genuine relationship that you have with them. And so that's why we send out these. If you have longer sequences, that can be even better. But we found that these 3 work really well. We're definitely going to be expanding on these and releasing all of those into our mastermind programs. Anything else to add on any of the emails, Ben?
No, just to kind of piggyback off that. I mean, the main thing is the only email they absolutely need to get before their appointment is the first one. Other ones are just icing on the cake too. If they get it before the appointment, great. If not, it's still it's not anything pertinent that they need to know before their first visit. We're getting that all out of the way on that first email that goes out first text. So,
right. Good question, Scott. Thanks for being here. All right, let's talk about evaluation accelerator forms.
Oh, Jordan, do you want to do that, or do you want to do the texts that go out from the PTs before they show up to the evaluation? I guess it doesn't make a huge difference.
I want to go over the evaluation form, then the texts that we send the patients once we know they completed it.
Okay. Yep, that makes more sense. Yep, like that.
So evaluation accelerator form. Cool. So as you can see, everything on here is pretty standard at the beginning, but Ben, you kind of want to talk about the evolution of this form. And I mean, we don't have to talk about each and every part of this, but overview.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, like the first half of the evaluation form is going to look very similar to what they would fill out for an intake form generally, all right? Because it is information. Like there's stuff on general intake forms that are absolutely necessary and needed to complete that evaluation as thoroughly as possible, right? This is stuff we don't have to ask them beforehand. So it really, and it also serves a purpose too. These are all softball questions. Just gets them warmed up, used to stating information and providing you with information, because these questions as we go along get more thought-provoking and they really have to kind of open up. And so by giving them softball questions at the beginning, it's important and serves a purpose in that sense as well. So I'll scroll down, Jordan. I think these are all pretty softball questions, general intake form stuff. And then So here's kind of where we're going to get into some of the stuff that's really important. So how are your symptoms like changing? I like this question because this is really important, especially if it seems like getting worse. Okay, something that we'll highlight, and it's really important for people that it might not be impacting people a whole lot quite yet, but it's getting worse. So if somebody doesn't have a whole lot of pain points, what we can do is we can use future pacing to figure out like, hey, Ms. Smith, you said that it's not really impacting a whole lot right now, but it is getting worse. At this pace, 4 or 6 months down the road, how do you think is this going to be impacting you? Right? Okay, well, I guess I'm having some pain with, going up and down stairs. I'm able to work out. Well, I probably won't be able to, starting to kind of incorporate and have some pain with working out. I don't know if maybe I might not be able to work out or do squats or lunges or run on the mileage that I want. So I've already kind of cut back on the running. So that could be kind of where I end up too. So it just helps them realize that, hey, this isn't getting better and they need your help. So this is a really important question for future pacing that we look at. And then also like looking at the past 4 weeks, like how does this impact them? And then how much of your time interfered with your social activities, like visiting friends and family and stuff like that. So asking them like from a social aspect, how it's impacting them. Because a lot of people don't think about that. They just think like how much pain they're having. They don't realize how much it's actually impacting them there. So we asked them about that and also about work and housework and then overall health. And then also like seeing who else they've worked with is important too, to give you a general sense of like, hey, what has their past experience been there? And then just kind of some more softball questions here. That just information that we need to know. You can go and scroll down.
I'm gonna layer into some of these too, because
Yep.
If you guys have watched stage 1 when we talked about different types of questions to ask during this first phone call and the importance of identifying like trigger words, which are basically things that patients say that you can kind of dig into that help them come to their own conclusion that taking action with you now is in their best interest. And so we're basically just fishing for these trigger words that we can basically leverage in our sales conversations to help them make the best decision for themselves. And so are your symptoms changing? Okay, they're going to put something here. Now, during the actual evaluation, you can kind of dig into this a little bit more and just ask them like, well, how are they changing? How is this impacting your CrossFit and the other things that you love doing? And we can start digging into these things and help them figure out that they need to take action right here. Same with what list other practitioners that you've worked with. Now you can ask them during the call, like, well, when you're working with these other people, like, why do you think that you didn't get the result you're looking for? Then you can start helping them figure it out that their best move is to work with you. So these questions seem simple, but there's a lot of psychological, emotional communication that's happening that is the reason that these work so well. And so definitely go through here and think like, why do we ask this? Try to challenge yourself to figure out like, what's the emotional psychology that's happening here? Check all this.
And then, you can also figure out like when they stated like what other practitioners they've seen, you can figure out like, hey, what did you like about them? What were some things that you didn't like? And then you can kind of leverage that too by highlighting, how you're different and that, what they state they're looking for and if that aligns with what you do too. So then we kind of ask them like athletic goals. What are your athletic goals? Goals for physical therapy, and what is your main motivation to achieve these goals? I love this question because it's going to give you insight. So you don't, a lot of this, the evaluation accelerator form here, it allows you so you don't have to poke and prod so much at the end of the evaluation to figure out what is truly motivating. They will tell you on this exactly what's motivating them. So if you're getting objections, you can reflect back to this. Like, Ms. Smith, if you don't, let's say insurance, if you get insurance objections, like, Ms. Smith, if I can get you back to insert the motivation, like what they want to get back to and what their motivation is, if I can get it so you can get back to playing with your kids pain-free. I say that's your main motivating factor. If I can do that for you and insurance doesn't reimburse a dime, would it be worth it to you? Right. And that can be really powerful to reflect on. So figure out what is their main motivation to achieve their goals. A lot of people put like, hey, I saw my parents, they weren't able to be active deeper into their lifespan because of injuries. I want to be able to be active throughout the entirety of my life, and I don't want to end up like my parents. Or, I want to be able to keep up. My son is about to have their first baby, and I want to be able to keep up with my grandson. as they get older and all that too. So people really kind of get deep into this and how it's impacting them and why it's motivating them too. So also I like asking on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to achieving your goals? If anybody puts less than a 10, I automatically get pretty big red flags. And I know that, hey, this might not be the best fit, or I'm going to have to really kind of figure out, hey, why? I know you mentioned, like you stated in here, that you're only a 7 on, committed to achieving these goals. What would need to happen for you to be a 10, right? They might say, like, it's not really impacting me a whole lot right now. I'm really busy with work and stuff, so it's important to me, but it's still not my priority. Like, then you can go back to, like, hey, is this getting better? I saw that you said this is getting worse. Then you can future pace again and use that strategy we used before. So I also like this question. Imagine we're having this conversation a year from now, looking back over this time, what has had to happen in your life for you to be happy about your progress, right? It's, again, future pacing. Like, get them to imagine, like, hey, how different their life could be. And if they move forward with working with you, they can have that life, right? And just get them to start envisioning that, and just finally be able to have the life that they want to have. And that can be really, really powerful too. So get them to imagine that. And then also, everyone needs a why. When the going is tough, there has to be something to keep you motivated. What is your why? Okay. Sometimes people won't, when they ask what the motivation is, they'll give you a decent amount of information. Like, they'll put my kids for my motivation, and they'll put something really deep down here, right? Thing is, I want to be able to keep up with my kids because I wasn't able to throw a baseball around with my dad because he had shoulder issues or something, like that. It really gets deeper into that, and you guys can be like, well, these kind of asking the same questions. They are, to a certain extent, but it's just getting them to open up a little bit more and kind of doing some piercing for those things. That just kind of really brings that out and what their true motivation is. So this is the last, like, 4 or 5 questions is what we really use and analyze before their appointment to figure out, hey, how motivated are they, and what do we need to kind of pierce on to get them to be motivated and get full commitment from people to commit to a plan of care and work with us and get the results that they're looking for.
Right. Beautiful. Then the rest of it, very simple, just agreeing to liability, insurances, all that good stuff. So guys, for those of you who are watching this, whether you're live or replay, let us know if you're getting value out of us breaking down the emails, the texts, the accelerator form, all of this stuff. Let us kind of value if you guys are getting value out of this thing. There's one last piece that is the simplest piece, but is the most impactful one that makes people feel heard, understood, and that they're in the right place, doing the right thing for themselves. And that's adding a personal touch to the end of this thing once someone has actually submitted this information, because there's nothing that sucks more and then someone who took the time to do something like this only to never have that information acknowledged at all, as if it didn't even matter. That is a very quick way to feel like people are wasting their time with you. And so Ben does a really good thing that not many practices that I've met even consider doing. So Ben, why don't you kind of take this?
Yeah, so this is sent out the day before the evaluation. So they get an automated text 48 hours beforehand. We use PT Everywhere, and we can set 24 hours to 48 hours. I like the 48-hour notification because it just gives us more heads up. So I know we can fill that spot if we have enough heads up. So we do 48 hours, and then we also send them a reminder, not a reminder, but this text 24 hours beforehand from the PT. Okay. So it depends on the availability, but we'll have either the PT actually send this themselves, or we'll have the front desk send it for them on behalf of them. But it makes it look like this is coming from the PT. And this is something else I don't know of any other clinic doing, is sending a text from the PT, the treating PT, the day before they come in. Can you guys imagine if you went to see your doctor and your physician the day before your first visit, and they said, hey, I'm super excited to work with you, and acknowledged your existence before you even came in, right? So what we state is we've got 2 different versions. We've got one version of if they did complete their evaluation start form, their intake forms, and also a version of if they didn't. So version 1 is if they did fill out their intake form. So it's, hey, Ms. Smith, personality, again, personal touch. It's Dr. Ben. Hope you've been having an awesome day. I just wanted to reach out as I was reviewing your file, okay, showing them that you're taking this seriously, like you were preparing for their session. 24 hours in advance. You're not doing it the day of, you're doing it the day before, and be like, I was just reviewing your file to prepare for your evaluation tomorrow, and send over a friendly reminder to try and complete. Oh, this is if they did not fill out their intake form. It looks like we got this mixed up. Yeah, so the one, if they did fill it out, hope you're having a great day so far. Just want to check in real quick and thank you for taking the time to fill out those intake forms. I look forward to working with you and getting you back to insert their goal. By inserting their goal, like we always want to relate it back to what is motivating them. It's usually their goals, okay? And we take that from the evaluation starter form and insert that into this. By you stating this, they know that you actually looked at the intake form and you actually looked at it, you know what's truly motivating them and what is important to them, and you related it back to here, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we're all set for tomorrow, X time. Well, have a great rest of your day, Ms. Smith, right? So this is really powerful because people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust, okay? You're building an immense rapport with people by sending this, okay? And showing them that you actually took the time to take that, you're taking their appointment very seriously and that you've analyzed it all, okay? So really, really important. And if they haven't filled out, I always say, hey, Ms. Smith, it's Dr. Ben. Hope you're having an awesome day. I just want to reach out to reviewing your file to prepare for your evaluation tomorrow, and want to send over a friendly reminder to try and complete the intake form. If you're able to find some time so we can jump into as much treatment as possible in our session. Again, relating it back to why they should complete this. If you have any questions or have difficulty accessing them, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great rest of your day, Ms. Smith, and I'll see you tomorrow X time, right? So it sucks if they haven't filled it out to a certain extent because you can't relate it back to their goal, but it still comes across that you are taking this seriously and that you are preparing adequately for their appointment the next day. So really, really powerful and nobody else is doing this in the PT industry, even the just medical history or medical profession in general. So you can really make yourself stand out. And again, it makes the sales process when they come in after the evaluation and to a plan of care so much easier because you've already built a lot of trust with them. They've built a lot of trust. They know, like, and trust the person they spoke with on the call on the front desk, or if it's you, and then also build more trust with the treating PT by saying this beforehand. They've already met and spoken with the two people that they're going to interact the most with before they even come in. They know, like, and trust us significantly more by just sending out these texts too. So.
And it's super important because we know for a fact that people that complete the evaluation accelerator form they convert on package much more frequently than the people who don't, just because it pre-frames them properly. It gets them emotionally charged for that visit and for the transformation they're about to go on. And so having that reminder, super important. And if you can make it personalized, it's that much better because everyone always expects to be just another number, especially in healthcare. They're just a cog on the wheel of this ever rotating, assembly line of people going in and out. But when you can send them this, a message that is tailored to their goals, that proves that this isn't an automated message. It shows them that you were actually thinking about this person before they actually got in front of you. And this proves that you're actually, treating them like a human being, like someone that would be the same way you'd be treating a family member. And so this makes it much harder for someone to come up with reasons on why not to show up, because you've created this emotional, genuine, personal connection with this individual. And just like you said, I thought the example of, like, if your physician texted you like the day before your visit and just said, like, hey, hope you're well, like, super excited to see you, that's unheard of. Like, I would be like caught off guard by that. That'd be kind of like weird. It would be like so unexpected. But when it's done, it's so greatly appreciated because that's just not the industry that people know. So I love that you're doing that. And I'm hoping that a lot of you watching this are going to be inspired and you take this. Please take it. That's why we're showing it to you, and start sending this stuff off. And if you need a tool that makes it really easy, just let me know. We got CM Hub that makes doing this stuff take 2 seconds. Super simple stuff. And so for the people who are on here, or for those of you catching the replay,